The fucking feels. Reason plays at the end of this episode. When that song just kicks in, when you see our two protagonists just going ways, parting ways, taking their own paths, I was like, what the fuck? It makes you so fucking sad. It really does, because next week is the bona fide final episode of Hunter x Hunter 2011. And this honestly felt like a finale. This felt like a finale episode, because you see our two characters that we've seen since almost the very beginning of the series part ways. Killua goes with Alika somewhere, and you have Gong trying to go meet his father up on top of the world tree. And then that song plays Reason, and you see all these different scenes back in the past of different characters, like Leorio. You get to see Killua and Gong when they used to have fun, just different stuff like that. And it's just when the song plays with that scene, and you see how the animation was when they part their ways, I mean, it hits you so hard in the fucking Kokoro, so bad. It really, really does. Because the connection these two characters have, they both technically make up the main character. They both do, in one whole. Like, one is each of them have, like, a different half of the character. And to see how both of these two took their own paths, it's just so upsetting. It is so upsetting because you want to see them, you know, get back together, but we're not going to get to see that in the anime for a very long time. I don't even know if they're back together in the manga. And with Togashi with his hiatus at the moment with his back pain, when I finally do read the manga, I'm going to be so upset because it's going to be so many cliffhangers. I'm going to be like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this? Just how can Hunter x Hunter 2011, or Hunter x Hunter in general, be such a damn good series? How is this series so fucking good? Like, usually, I understand that some series have problems. This series has problems too, yes, but why is this series so fucking good? Why do I feel so hyped, so emotional, and have so many feels every week I watch an episode of Hunter x Hunter? Because every week, around Tuesday, when I watch this series, the feels, the thought process put into the level of writing with the animation from Madhouse to the character's development, it's too fucking ridiculous of how good this series is. And when you see scenes like this at the end of this episode, with the feels, with the Reason song playing at the end of this, and you see how the animation went to how they're going to kill apart, and you see how their, like, heads are kind of connected, like they're going different directions, I was like, dude, that's too fucking good. Just, why is this series just so fucking good? Why can't we have more anime or other manga like this? This is too fucking good. This series is way too good. Because, as I said before, a long time ago, this series, it is just so far high up there in quality, it is ridiculous. It is so fucking ridiculous. And when you get to actually feel emotions from these characters that are parting ways, and you see how Togashi put in the level of writing of that, and you see it, you feel so fucking sad, but this is a very good step for these two characters. It's a very good first step. For instance, to grow as characters, to grow as a person, they need to part for a time. Killua needs to protect Alika, and Gom needs to figure out what he wants to do about his father, and what it truly means to be a hunter. And so the feels and the impact from this had so much meaning behind it. I can't even go into the nitty-gritty details because there's just so much behind that ending that I would be talking for a long time. Just Togashi, man, never stop doing your shit. If you need to take hiatuses for fucking years to make quality like this, I think everybody should be satisfied. I mean, we don't know what Togashi does in his hiatuses, but if he does do this, if he does write, or at the very least make rough drafts of what he wants to do with his stories, I am fucking fine with him taking years off to write almost perfection like this. Because this is one of my favorite series I have ever watched. Seriously. It's given me one of my favorite villains of all time. It's given me one of my favorite shonen arcs of all time. It's given me one of the most feels I've experienced from a shonen. And the characters are just so remarkable with all the development. Even the side characters. Speaking of side characters, Koala in this episode. Togashi knows how to write his characters. He he knows how to write these characters to where you could feel compassionate for even a fucking side character that has barely any screen time. Koala. This character, honestly, I did not care much about in the past. He had a cool design. I liked his design in the past. All that. He was really cool, but I didn't care much about him. But to see him brought back in this episode and talk to Princess Kite and see how he wanted self-redemption as a person. And he wanted to, you know, go the easy way out, technically, to just repay his sins he's caused in the past, because he's doing this endless cycle with his soul. Like, he is constantly doing this endless cycle of killing and killing, pulling the trigger. Even when he was a human, he was still killing people and doing this endless cycle of death, pretty much. And when he became a Chimera Ant, he pretty much repeated that exact same cycle. And there was so much meaning behind the double helix and different stuff that he was talking about with the soul and stuff. I mean, it's just so fucking ridiculous how much meaning was in that entire scene. Like, it looks like a bunch of dialogue mumbo-jumbo at first glance, but no, there's just so much dialogue and meaning in that. And speaking of dialogue, honestly, I was going to do a live reaction to this episode, but there was just so much dialogue. Not a bad thing, it's not a bad thing, but there was just so much dialogue, I was just like, looking at the screen blankly the entire live reaction, because I was just having to process everything that was going on in this episode, because there's just so much information. Like, I might have to start watching the episode twice. Like, if Togashi continues, like, writing like this, I would probably have to watch the episode twice before I would even make a review, because that is just how much dialogue and how much meaning you can get out of each individual scene. Like, I'm willing to bet if I was to go back and watch that koala scene once again, I could find something completely new and open my eyes up to something even more grander when it comes to the koala character. So, like I said, if this happens also in the manga in future chapters when I start reading this manga, I'm definitely gonna have to read the chapters like 2 or 3 fucking times to understand what is going on completely, to get the bright picture of it, because seriously, you're not going to understand everything on the first glance of this episode. I'm willing to bet hardly anyone, unless you've thought about it for a little bit, will understand every individual meaning about that scene when the koala's talking about self-redemption, double helix, you know, taking the easy way out, the human souls, just so much different shit I'm not even mentioning that was mentioned in that scene that I can't even wrap my mind around how Togashi was able to do something like that in this episode. Once again, Togashi shows his skills with writing a fucking side character. Like, I mean, Welfie, you remember him? How he technically saved the entire fucking world against Meruem because of his decision to say Komugi? Remember that? And he was a side character barely anyone cared about. And to see Koala, that's pretty much a side character, a lesser side character than Welfie earlier on in the Chimera Ant arc, turn out to have this type of development is just a bitch slap to the face. You're like, dude, you should never look down on any side characters of when Togashi writes them, because they'll have some form of importance. Because from what we see from this episode is that the koala will have some major importance way down the future. May not be in the next arc, it may not be next episode, it may not be currently up to date in the manga, but somewhere way down in the future, that koala's gonna have some important significance to the plot in Kite's development, female Kite's development. Because Kite states, like, you can't take the easy way out. Serve me every day. Say sorry every day. If you don't hold up to this, I will kill you. And I'm like, oh my god. Just the meaning behind those lines and the power in those words is just fucking ridiculous. Hunter x Hunter. I don't think I've had a series do this to me in a very long time, where I have to wrap my brain around thinking about everything. I haven't had a series do this to me in a long time. And to see a series like this, Hunter x Hunter, do something like this, consecutive weeks, not just, you know, 1 week out of the blue like every 10 to 15 weeks or once a year, but consecutive weeks over and over again. I've just never seen a fucking anime do that. Retain animation quality, retain writing quality, retain that development, retain the morals and ideology of the different characters, and have complex meaning behind each individual sentence. It's something you barely ever get in a series like this. it's just, yeah. Hunter x Hunter is on an entirely different plateau when it comes to series I have watched or reviewed. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I'm going to have to watch the episode again of Hunter x Hunter. I need to see everything I missed. I know I missed probably a lot more shit that I didn't understand from this episode, so I'm definitely going to have to watch it again. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love all of you so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. And sorry for not having, you know, a live reaction this week because, like I said, there's just so much shit I had to watch, like, you know, like, pay attention to. I didn't have really good of reaction. And the ending, it was a very good ending, but I don't think all of you just want to see me reacting to the ending song. So, if you have a wonderful day or night wherever you live, please be safe. Chibi out.